Good evening. The council will come to order. We'll be led in prayer by Alderwoman Sheila Hayes, please.
God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Thank you. Alderman Singh, please. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Proclamation number 1, Jewish American Heritage Month.
Thank you. President Pro Tem, please.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Proclamation from the city of Norwich. Whereas every May we commemorate Jewish American Heritage Month to celebrate and honor the contribution of Jewish Americans in our history, and whereas imbued with a legacy and collective memory of violent persecution across the globe, Jews have long found hope in America's promise of freedom, justice, opportunity, and religious liberty. And whereas the heritage, culture, and contributions of the Jewish community adds to the diverse tapestry of American society. And whereas the first American Jews arrived in 1652 when a group of 23 men, women, and children fled Brazil due to persecution. For 369 years, Jewish Americans have been loyal and patriotic citizens. And whereas contributing to our nation in countless ways, American Jews have served in government and in the military, won Nobel Prizes, headed universities and corporations, advanced medical and healthcare, created and performed enduring works of art, written great American novels, became members of the Supreme Court, and more. And whereas, as we honor the legacies and achievements of generations of Jews in America, we also must dedicate ourselves to learning about ongoing struggles with anti-Semitism in our society and commit to mitigating this pernicious hate. On behalf of Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom and myself, Joseph A. DeLucia, President Pro Tem of Norwich City Council, and Alderwoman Stacy Gould, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the city of Norwich, do hereby recognize May as Jewish American Heritage Month in the Rose City, dated this the 6th day of May 2024, signed by myself and the Mayor and Alderwoman Gould.
Number 2, VFW National Law Enforcement Public Citation Award.
Yeah.
Center?
Yeah, please. Yep.
I'm used to facing everybody, but I guess I'll face you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Norwich City Council, Chief Daly, distinguished guests, and of course our Norwich Police Department. Thank you everyone for coming here to share this special event with us. My name is Earl Colella. I'm from Norwich, VFW Post 594. I keep turning around and look at everybody. I used to do this people behind my back. It is my honor to be standing here on behalf of Richard D. Federico, Commander, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the Department of Connecticut. Unfortunately, Commander D. Federico is with the Commander-in-Chief of the VFW conducting VFW business in another state right now, so he asked me to fill in for him. I would like to give everyone some background and information concerning the award we are about to present. Each year, the Veterans of Foreign Wars selects emergency medical technicians, law enforcement, firefighters, and dispatch personnel to receive the VFW Public Servant Award. New this year is the EOD technician category. All posts are encouraged, they're actually strongly encouraged, to submit a candidate or group for these awards to their department headquarters by January 1st. The department then selects a single candidate for each of the 5 awards. So 5 awards, 1 for each category, go forward to national. Then national votes on it, and they come up with 1 winner for each category for each state. Tonight, we will be awarding the VFW National Law Enforcement Public Servant Citation. This award is for an individual who serves in a municipality, county, state, or federal unit tasked with enforcement of the laws pertaining to their area of responsibility. This award does not apply to individuals employed by private companies or security services. The criteria for this award, the candidates must have demonstrated 1, recognition by their colleagues or those they serve. 2, have consistent excellence in the performance of their duties. And 3, consistent dedication to their official responsibilities over a period of years and continuous growth in responsibilities and skills within their profession. Please join me as we recognize one of Norwich Police Department's finest officers as they receive this year's Veterans of Foreign Wars National Law Enforcement Public Servant Award citation for the state of Connecticut. So this really is a big deal. At this time, I'd like to ask Officer First Class Zachary D. Barber to come forward. Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. National Law Enforcement Award, awarded to Officer First Class Zachary D. Barber, in recognition and sincere appreciation of his dedication and selfless service to the Norwich Police Department. During Officer First Class Zachary D. Barber's outstanding career, he has maintained a record of highly professional and exemplary service to our community and to the nation. His extraordinary commitment clearly illustrates the proud core values and traditions of the law enforcement profession, further highlighted by the degree of admiration and respect of both his peers and the local public he serves. Officer First Class Zachary D. Barber is truly an exceptional example of all who wear the badge, and this honor reflects the proud ideals and high standards of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and the official seal of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. Signed, Dwayne Sarmiento, Commander-in-Chief, Dan West, Adjutant General. Zachary, congratulations. Absolutely. Only one in the state. We have the finest police department in the state. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
In keeping with the honors bestowed by the VFW, the city also would like to join in and give great appreciation and thanks to your service and to all our people who serve law enforcement and public safety in general. This is a proclamation from the city of Norwich, whereas each year the Veterans of Foreign Wars selects emergency service persons, law enforcement officers, and firefighters to receive VFW national awards, recognition by their colleagues For those they serve, they demonstrate consistent excellence in performance of their duties, consistent dedication to their official responsibilities over a period of years, and continuous growth in responsibilities and skills within their professions. Whereas Officer Zachary Barber's exemplary dedication to duty, outstanding leadership, and community engagement make him a deserving candidate to be awarded this prestigious award. Whereas throughout his career, Officer Zachary Barber has demonstrated unwavering courage and professionalism, and in July of 2023, he has significantly contributed to the seizure of 3 firearms during an investigation of gun violence in a residential neighborhood. Whereas Officer Zachary Barber's attitude, dedication, and observational skills are commendable. He is an asset to the department, its officers, and all the citizens of Norwich. Whereas Officer Zachary Barber consistently offers assistance to others, sharing valuable law enforcement information, most often obtained through his own hard work and persistence. Whereas Officer Zachary Barber's leadership and willingness to offer support without hesitation are commendable. Now therefore, I, Mayor Pierre Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Joseph A. DeLucia, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the City of Norwich, to hereby congratulate Officer Zachary Barber as he has bestowed the honor of VFW National Law Enforcement Public Service Citation, day the 6th day of May, signed by myself and our Pro Tem. Congratulations to you.
Switch order.
Okay.
Good evening. I appreciate it. Thank you. It is absolutely an honor. Congratulations to, sorry, Chief, I didn't see you standing. You snuck up on me. Zach Barber, absolutely so proud of him, as I am with the other men and women of the Norwich Police Department. Tonight, we're gathered here to support our police officers, but we are also here to recognize the individual acts of some officers and 2 civilians. And I'll explain the incident. On Friday, March 29th, 2024, at approximately 5:40 a.m., the Norwich Emergency Communications received a call from a 211 crisis worker reporting that they were on the phone with an individual in a mental health crisis threatening to harm themselves. The crisis worker reported the individual was threatening to hang themselves from a bridge near the Norwich Marina. As you know, we have tons of bridges in Norwich and tons of water. But dispatcher Dane Majewski continued to obtain pertinent information from the crisis worker, and Officer James Watts relayed the information to the officers who were out on the street patrolling, and they were dispatched to the immediate area in an attempt to locate the individual. While checking the area, Officer Ryan Dunn heard yelling on West Main Street just past American Wharf. Officer Dunn immediately stopped, exited his patrol vehicle, and observed an individual on the other side of the chain link fence. The individual had a rope around his neck and was attempting to tie the other end to the bridge. He was being held onto by 2 citizens, later identified as Kelsey and Francisco Osorio. Officer Dunn ran over and grabbed hold of the individual's right arm to prevent them from falling into the water below. Officer Victoria Clark and Officer Megan Crawford arrived on scene and assisted Officer Dunn in holding on to the individual, while Canine Officer Jared Nelson arrived on scene and began to communicate with the individual. After several minutes of negotiation and de-escalation, Officer Nelson was able to persuade the individual to climb back over the fence to safety. The individual was unharmed and subsequently transported to Bacchus Hospital for treatment and evaluation. This collaboration between civilians and law enforcement undoubtedly saved a life. From our valued citizens, Kelsey and Francisco Osorio, recognizing and intervening with a suicidal subject, to Dispatcher Majewski and Officer Watts coordinating their response, to Officer Dunn's quick intervention supported by Officer Crawford and Officer Clark, and culminating with the skillful negotiation of Canine Officer Jared Nelson. An irreversible tragedy was avoided. That is the description. So tonight, Chief Daly is presenting Officer Ryan Dunn with the Norwich Department Medal for Life Saving. This is awarded to an act performed in the line of duty where Officer Dunn's prompt and alert actions result in saving a human life. Also receiving the Norwich Police Department Medal for Life Saving is K-9 Officer Jared Nelson, again awarded for an act performed in the line of duty where the actor's prompt and alert actions results in the saving of a human life. Congratulations. Officer James Watts is receiving the Norwich Police Department Medal for Exceptional Service. This is awarded to any member who successfully performs an extremely difficult and complex investigation task or who demonstrates exceptional skills and integrity in the apprehension of a wanted person or provides outstanding service to the community and public. Congratulations, Officer James Watts. Megan Crawford is also receiving the Norwich Police Department Medal for Exceptional Service for her actions on that morning. Officer Victoria Clark is also receiving the Norwich Police Department Medal for Exceptional Service for her actions on that morning. And last but certainly not least, Dispatcher Dane Majewski is receiving the Norwich Police Department Medal for Exceptional Service for his actions that day. And to our citizens, Kelsey Osorio and Frisco Osorio, they are receiving the Norwich Police Chief's citation. This is an act or service by a member or civilian of special value or interest and involving devotion to duty and important accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you all. You're all a credit to the service and to our city. On behalf of the entire City Council, extend our thanks to all of you who provide service in the public realm. Thank you.
It's nice to see some nice things, though.
Okay.
Have to. I didn't have to. No, they're not being rude. Most of them are working midnights tonight, so they do have to leave and get some sleep. So,
Thank you. It's all right.
I'm going to do this now.
That's the aspect of those jobs that's, including my old one, you know, freaking going for midnights and stuff else. It's hard, so. He's like, well, sounds like fuck it. One of those days.
At this time, I'm going to ask for a suspension of our rules to include the adoption of the minutes from the April 11th, 2024 first public hearing on the 2024-25 budget previously omitted from the agenda. May I have the motion for suspension, please? Thank you, President Pro Tem, seconded by Alderman Singh. Discussion on the motion. Roll call, please.
Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion for suspension passes 5-0. At this time, I would ask for a motion to add the April 11th first public hearing on the 2024-25 budget minutes to be included with the adoption of the minutes of April 1st and April 15th already included on this agenda. Motion, please.
So moved?
So moved by the Pro Tem, second by Alderman Mark Bettencourt. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes. Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. That motion is adopted 5-0.
Okay, adoption of the minutes of April 1st, April 11th, and April 15th.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain a motion for the adoption of the minutes as outlined, the 1st, the 11th, and the 15th.
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Singh, second, Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Is there discussion on the motion to adopt the minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Minutes are adopted 5-0. Thank you.
City Manager's report?
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for May 6th, 2024. Meetings attended were the Southeastern Council of Governments Executive Committee meeting, Southeastern Transit, NCDC Board of Directors meeting, NPU City Coordination meeting, and Grant press conference, ribbon cutting for the Brown Park docks and Read and Use, and a tour of Norwich brownfield sites with city staff and DEEP officials. Norwich Public Utilities received a $10.9 million grant to replace the city's aging gas lines from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. The city, state, and federal officials gathered at City Hall to receive the giant check. NPU received $10 million last year through the same program. The two grants will allow NPU to replace 9 miles of cast iron natural gas pipes in 5 years instead of 25 years. The project will start this fall. Harbor Management Chairman Tucker Braddock had the honor of cutting the ribbons for the city's new $1.3 million handicapped accessible ramps and docks. Tucker Braddock had been instrumental, along with the Harbor Management Commission, in obtaining grants from the Connecticut Port Authority Small Harbor Improvement Projects Program, and Public Works recently submitted a fiscal year 2025 Community Project Fund request to Congressman Joe Cartney's office requesting $600,000 to finish the replacement of the floating docks at Brown Park. David McCarthy, president of Heritage Housing, unveiled the $4.9 million project to renovate the vacant former Read and Use store into 17 apartments and retail space. Heritage Housing, Inc. of Norwalk was awarded a grant of $550,000 from the Community Investment Fund, along to supplement the city's ARPA contribution of $600,000. The project is expected to be completed by the spring of 2025. Public Works has reinstalled the Lion's Head drinking fountain in Mohegan Park after almost a 30-year hiatus, thanks to a suggestion from former Councilman Grant Newdorf. Public Works repainted the beloved lion and installed a new concrete pad for him to be placed adjacent to the more modern, acceptable fountain near the bathrooms in Park Center. Last year, Public Works restored and replaced the giant caterpillar, but that has not received as much attention as the lion, who has become a big hit on Facebook. My assistant, Jackie Barbarossa, posted the Lions picture late Thursday afternoon. As of 11 a.m. this morning, there have been 1.7 thousand positive reactions, 163 comments, and 390 shares for the beloved lion. If you haven't visited the park lately, please stop by and view these beloved icons and enjoy the park. And that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, John. Other questions of the city manager at this time? Seeing none, thank you.
Citizen comment on agenda items only, on resolutions.
Thank you. I declare citizen comment on resolutions open, and please state your name and address at the dais if you're speaking on those resolutions. We have one person who has signed up, Mr. Mark Perkins.
Mark Perkins, 81 Lawler Lane. The police accommodation ceremony put me in a good mood, so I can't say half of what I was going to say. But this is speaking about the, I don't have the resolution in front of me. It's about the new billboards that are going up, or the billboard that's going to be constructed off of Lawler Lane. I'll just say that I don't think this monstrosity belongs in the pristine north end of Norwich. I think it's completely out of character with the neighborhood. I mean, and not mentioned at all from the plan. I suspect there's going to be an access road going in there, and that's just going to bring in more quads, motorcycles, illegal dumping, and I think it's going to be a magnet for illegal activity. So I adamantly oppose this billboard going up. Again, it's 48 by 14. It's a giant. It's longer than my house. So I think it's the wrong thing for the wrong place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, anyone else like to speak to the council on agenda items? Please, Mrs. Philbrick.
Joanne Philbrick, 10 Elm Avenue. Like Mr. Perkins, I am in a little better mood following the positivity of the police presentations. However, having said that, I'd like an explanation of the whereabouts of Alderman Gould, Alderman Nash. I think it's important that we know why they're not here. We don't have to go into detail, but where are they? May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to give a personal thank you to Hannah. Those of you who know me, know me. There's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. It's okay not to be okay. And the sooner we all realize it, the better off we'll be. I also am dumbfounded by resolution number 5. I would like to know where it came from, the purpose. I spent the entire day yesterday traversing the neighborhood of Lawler Lane because I wanted to see for myself what this is all about. Are we so desperate for money that we have to lower ourselves to 48-foot billboards? My house is 33 feet wide. I can use a variety of terms to describe my feelings about this. Some of them I won't because it wouldn't be polite. But the ones that come to my mind are tacky, offensive, gauche, ghetto, monstrosity, abhorrent. Is this how we want to project ourselves on a giant digital screen, like a giant video game? There aren't enough distractions on 395 as it is. Now you want to put up a friggin' billboard do you have any control over what goes on it? I have seen some of them. They are tacky. Tacky. And how does it fit into the plan for Business Park North? How does it fit into the plan? You have a responsibility to be transparent, truthful to the citizens of this city. Having public comment is great, but if we don't know what we're talking about or what we're dealing with, it doesn't mean anything.
Please summarize.
You know, Peter, there is nobody else here in the building.
Please summarize.
Are you going to answer my questions, or are you going to ignore me like you always do?
Your questions will be answered, and you could have picked up the phone and made a phone call as well. Is there anyone else like to address the council? Yes, please.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Saitani, and I reside at 27 Brook Street. To the members of the City Council, City Mayor, thank you for gathering here today. I stand before you to address an issue of paramount importance: the urgent need to advocate for increased funding for the Individuals with Disability Education Act, also known as IDEA. Currently, IDEA is funded well below 13%, a figure significantly below the 40% originally proposed by the federal government. This underfunding has direct implications for our community, notably for Norwich Public Schools, which recently faced a necessity of a budget proposal exceeding well over $100 million due to the severe shortfalls in special education funding. This funding crisis is not just a number on a paper. It translates into real challenges to our schools, teachers, and more importantly, our students who deserve every opportunity to succeed regardless of their personal challenges. The support to fully funding IDEA to 40% is not just an educational issue. It is a matter of justice, equity, and civic responsibility. We must continue to carry this message and put more pressure to our federal delegation in Washington, D.C., who represents Connecticut. We need them to understand the critical nature of this funding, not just for our city, but for the entire nation. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the city council members, the city mayor, city comptroller, our state legislators, the city mayor, and the school district and community members such as NFA, CABE, CAPS, and LEARN for the unwavering support on this collective effort to support the joint statement for advocating for IDEA. And I just want to mention to the general public to please reach out to our federal delegations from both the House of Representatives and the United States Senate to fully support IDEA to 40%. That way the funding can help our school district here in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just for the public record, I'm assuming your comments on the budget, so you'll be speaking its impact, what you shared with us, to Resolution 6 tonight. Thank you.
Actually,
9.
9. We renumbered them. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak to the council at this time on the resolutions on the agenda? Anyone else like to speak to the council on the resolutions on the agenda? Again, anyone like to address the council on the resolutions listed on the agenda? Seeing no one else, I declare citizen comment closed. Thank you.
New business resolutions. Number 1, relative to an appointment as a regular member to the Norwich Housing Authority.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderman Singh, second Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Is there discussion? No discussion. The gentleman being appointed at this time is Mr. Keith Milton to the Norwich Housing Authority. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The resolution is adopted 5-0.
Resolution number 2, relative to an appointment as a regular member to the Harbor Management Commission.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Hayes, second. Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the, again, person being appointed here is Mr. Michael Richardson. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The resolution adopted 5-0.
Number 3, relative to a reappointment and an alternate appointment to the Inland Wetland Watercourses and Conservation Commission.
Thank you. A motion, please. Bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Hayes, a second, please. Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Seeing none, for edification of the public, person being reappointed is Peter Chalicki, and the person being appointed as an alternate member, Inland Wetlands Watercourse and Conservation Commission, is Mr. Nicholas Fortson. Roll call, please.
Hayes. Yes. Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The resolution adopted 5-0.
Number 4, relative to city manager being authorized to deliver a permission letter for the installation of Lafayette Trail street sign at the intersection of Main and Market Streets.
Thank you. Resolution, is there move, please? Alderman Singh, second. Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. That is adopted 5-0.
5, relative to pursuit of the addition of a billboard lease with Outfront Media LLC proposed to be constructed at 131 Lawler Lane.
Thank you. Motion, please, to bring this to the floor.
I'll bring the motion for the purpose of
Motion by
discussion.
Alderman Singh. Is there a second?
For purposes of discussion, I'll second.
Seconded by our pro tem. Thank you. Is there discussion at this time? Alderman Bettencourt.
I'm going to add, I mean, I live in this area, so, I mean, I recognize that it's for 395 really, but what was I'll ask, you're the sponsor, so so what was the genesis of this?
The city through NCDC was contacted by this company, and it's an opportunity to have this billboard, if it's erected along 395. I believe it goes on the north side of 395, but it actually faces towards the park itself. So people coming south on 395 would only see that particular billboard. And it's in the vicinity right there at the highway. It's not on Lawler Lane itself. It's in an area of land that's owned by the city of Norwich. And it's an opportunity to derive revenue for Norwich Community Development Corp. That's our economic arm for development, for expanding our tax base. This actually would alleviate the financial burden that NPU and the city share for funding their activities.
So that, I mean, the location is, obviously, must be by the overpass there that crosses Lawler Lane.
Yes. Yeah.
And there aren't any houses over right in that particular area anyway.
No, there are no homes right there. And again, the way it's facing, you're seeing it only from one side, and that's if you're heading south on 395.
This is a digital billboard?
It is digital, yes.
It'll be lit up?
Yes, yes, when it's in operation, yeah. Just like the one on the viaduct.
It'll be in operation 24/7, I imagine, right? Or-
Correct. If there are other questions, I would also I'll allow certainly for more, but note that the city is being asked here for the city manager to be authorized to pursue the opportunity to do this. This doesn't do it at all. He still has to come back and report to us.
If he comes up with an agreement, does it come back to us? Is that what we're saying?
That's my understanding, absolutely.
Mr. Mr. Salamone, is that your understanding?
Yes, if you, on the third line of the last paragraph, it says directed to pursue and if viable, enter into receive and deliver a lease agreement. At this point, it's not viable till it goes through the regulatory process of the state and our local regulatory. So
That includes,
it's a long way from being consummated tonight.
John is referencing the Siting Council for one. They oversee all these issues at the state level. This would actually just enter into the city, into the discussions, which again, then still has to come back here, still go through all local permitting and all that stuff. Alderman Bettencourt, you still have the floor.
No, I'll relinquish.
Okay, thank you.
You've been very, thank you for answering the question.
Alderman Singh.
I was in the perception that it will also bring some community benefits with it when it comes to advertisements, and they can highlight some of the...
That is correct.
Okay.
All of those things can be included in anything that's negotiated. Again, still has to come back here for approval.
Okay. Thank you.
That is correct. Pro Tem, please.
Thank you. Mayor, if we might, I'd like to ask the Director of Planning and Services to come to the podium. And Neighborhood Services, I'm sorry.
Deanna Rhodes, for the record.
Good to see you. Does the current zoning in that area permit this?
Not reviewed this proposal. It has not come to our office yet.
Okay.
I have no drawings. I haven't looked at where it's going, nothing with that.
Okay, so in all fairness, then your office and you particularly are not cannot say definitively where exactly it's planning to go, what direction it will actually face, and so on and so forth.
I have not
You just
seen
don't have
anything.
that information. You haven't. Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would still like to. I have a few comments. I have some
Please.
serious concerns about this. I expressed them last week. So let's start with the resolution. The city manager's right. The last paragraph does say, if viable, enter into, execute, receive, deliver a lease agreement, and so on and so forth. And who makes that determination on what is viable? Is it viable for the vendor? Is it viable for, for us through the city manager? That's a problem for me. This is, Alderman Bettencourt's understanding is correct. I asked the question. This is one of those LED type billboards. It's not a lit from the front. It's the same one, as the mayor said, that we have on the viaduct. And then even the one on the viaduct is somewhat troubling to me, simply because of the fact that I come into the city from Asylum Street down West Main Street, and there are more often than not, when I make that left turn off of Asylum, I can see the one on the viaduct. So I wonder what voice the people who live on Tallman Street and all those side streets had when that one went in, because it's bright. And I know it's two-sided, but nonetheless, it's bright. And I'm concerned about having that presence up on Lawler Lane. As many of you know, I used to live on Lawler Lane, so I'm familiar with the area. I drive by there every single day that I go to work, both ways. And so I've looked out of the corner of my eye where this might be. And again, Alderman Bettencourt is correct. It's either going to be close to Lawler Lane or it's going to be close to Canterbury Turnpike, because that's the 131 Lawler Lane, and in the middle of that, in the middle of that property, between those two overpasses, is wetlands, and it's deep wetlands. It's standing water wetlands. So there's only really two places it can go, and I'm concerned that it will impact the people on the other side of the highway who live on Lawler Lane, the Norwich Worship Center, and the two residences next to that. And that light projection is a concern for me. And then I did ask the question, does this open the door that if we allow it once, then they can put in as many as they find necessary? And the answer to that question was no, which satisfied me a little bit, but nonetheless, I don't see how we don't end up with one on both sides of the highway, especially once the Occam Industrial Center goes in. So I have a number of concerns. I know that this is just the first of many steps in this process, but I can't say that I'm on board with this. I just think it's the wrong thing in the wrong place. As I'm sure many of you have been, I've been up and down several of our interstates in the state of Connecticut for work and other reasons, and I see many, many, many billboards that are not these giant 48-foot wide LED screens. And I'm certain that they must have some efficacy, otherwise why would anybody pay to put their advertisement on them? So I just don't think that this particular type is appropriate for that particular area. And so I can't support this at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion at this time? Alderwoman Hayes.
So to either you, Mayor, or to the city manager, I am still not clear in the therefore in the last paragraph. Who determines, or what will determine what is viable? Into the city manager authorizing director to pursue, and if viable, and that's.
I'll take a stab at that. Viability is defined by this particular project gaining all local permits and state authorizations. They will be the first ones to determine viability. If all that is in fact achieved, this council will have the final say, yay or nay, on whether it goes forward or not.
Might even be some federal.
I can't speak to federal. I'm aware of this.
There is some federal.
I'm aware of the State Siting Council and all the hearings that they have. And then you have the local permits as well. It's proposed to be on a sliver of city-owned land. I think it's lot 1, or site 131 is the pro tem identified, but it's over by the highway itself and the bridge itself, just, I have to call north of the bridge overpass that transfers Laurel Lane to the other side to the worship center. So if you're driving down Laurel Lane from Moriarty School, you would see perhaps the back of the sign. You'd never see the sign where it's lit. The only way you see it is if you're heading south on 395, north at that time. And if I recall the image that I refer to, the angle is such that the property of the church and where the church, the Norwich Worship Center, is located, not for the tree lines, might have the best view of that. I don't believe the two neighbors after the worship center would see it. It's my understanding the way the pixels are set up, and this is the tech, the further to the side you go, the image is distorted and not visible. That's the way they're set up. It's almost dead on center in order to actually visualize and see the type of message you're talking about. But again, this is only asking the city manager to have a discussion and begin at that. This is not authorizing anything. Alderman Singh.
Also, I want to add it's above 30 feet from the highway. So at that point, I don't think so we should have a lot of trouble with the lighting moving around. But I understand why there's discomfort, because they have not seen those imageries. All the council members have not seen it. We saw that, I believe, in NCDC meeting.
Yes.
So I do understand that. So I don't know if you want to postpone on this, but other thing that
I think it's true is it will require zoning action. And council is the zoning authority. So at this point, I think it's only for the exploration purposes. And, I'm okay with that if it's just for exploration purposes at this point. And so in that way, but we will need more information to act on it at some point.
You're correct. A lot more information and a lot more regulatory oversight before it even gets back here. And at any one of those regulatory moments, should it not be approved, that stops the process. There's a lot of checks and balance on this. Alderman Bettencourt, please.
All right, because of the location, I am a little concerned, more than a little concerned, but because of the elevation of the sign from 395 for visibility, I mean, it's going to be practically at street level with Lawler Lane, I would think, so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing, none of us know. So I don't see, without some more information, I think it would be best to, I don't want to say no, never, but, I don't believe in that, but I think it would be best maybe to postpone action on this until maybe we could acquire a little bit more information about the location, maybe a few pictures and of that nature and stuff, rather than just seeing the text in front of us.
Thank you. Alderman Singh.
Thank you very much. Also, I think we have 2 council members missing today, so it will be good to have their insight on it as well.
Thank you. And to that end, they're both not here because of family illness.
So if I could, then I'll make a motion to postpone action. Somebody want to pick a date? When can we get some more information on this?
I think it's readily available. You want to make it the next meeting, which would be the 20th,
I would wait till June.
June?
Yeah.
All right,
First
why don't we
meeting in
make it
June?
the second meeting in June, because we're doing the budget the first week, so.
That's true.
Let's make it the second meeting in June. This was 17th? All right, the 17th, June 17th then.
The motion is postponed till June 17th by Alderman Bettencourt. Is there a second? Alderwoman
I'll
Hayes?
second. Okay, thank you.
Is there discussion on the motion to postpone till June 17th? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Hayes? Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
The motion to postpone Resolution 5 till June 17th passes 5-0.
Number 6, relative to an amendment of the 24-25 budget to adjust revenue estimates.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Hayes, second Alderman Singh. Is there a discussion at this time? Again, just for the edification of members, revenue estimates are the sole authority of the city manager. It's nothing that we have any say on whatsoever. This is his next best estimate at this time. Is there discussion? Then roll call, please.
Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 6 is adopted 5-0.
Number 7, relative to the tentative adoption of the preliminary budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Thank you. Motion, please, bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Hayes, is there a second, please? Alderman Singh. Thank you. Is there discussion? Alderman Bettencourt.
We'll bring it up. I know we talked during some of the budget hearings, Josh, I see you sitting here, obviously, about some possible changes that we might want to make regarding some of the department budgets. I don't know if you kept track of that.
Yes, yes. Like, for example, in the registrar of voters office? Okay, yep.
That particularly actually was
Okay.
my first concern, but
So that is $66,600 increase in their budget after, in discussions.
Six?
Yes.
All right. Well, I would make a motion to make that change in the Registrar of Voters budget.
Is to amend the city's budget in reference to the budget of the city registrar's office in the amount of $66,000?
Yeah, $600, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in revelation.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderwoman Hayes. Motion made and seconded. Is there further discussion? None. A roll call on this amendment, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. That amendment is adopted 5-0. Is there further discussion at this time? Alderman Bettencourt.
All right, did we have a public safety piece in there?
So there was the aspect with the fire records software,
That's it.
but I'm not totally sure what the dollar amount is on that yet. They were exploring a few different programs.
Okay. I guess we'll wait on that then,
Okay.
till we can develop some more accurate numbers. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the resolution as amended at this time? Seeing none.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh. Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia. Mayor Nystrom.
Resolution 7 is adopted as amended, 5-0.
Number 8, relative to an amendment of the existing American Rescue Plan Act allocations.
Thank you. Motion to bring this to the floor, please. Alderwoman Hayes, second Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? President Pro Tem, please.
For Josh, please. I'll apologize in advance, Josh. I meant to call you today on my way home, and I got 3 other phone calls in a very short ride. Just to tell you that I wanted to ask you this question. So, we allocated a bunch of money to Human Services to bring our vision of using schools as community centers to life. But that's more aptly, it's ongoing, and the program is in its infancy. But once the new schools start to come online, that program should grow. So I guess my question is, the money that is still in their column of their current unspent, right, minus the $150,000.
Yes.
Right? 'Cause I'm concerned that that's going to bump up against the ARPA deadlines, right? You know what I mean? Before the new schools are even close to housing these programs. So what's the possible fix?
Okay, so I don't have those details with me tonight.
And I know, and that's why I owe you an apology
So
at the
no,
start.
that's okay. So that's probably a question that either Kate Mildy and/or Orla, my deputy comptroller, could answer a lot more knowledgeably than I could about the plans for those funds. But
well, luckily, it doesn't have anything to do with this action.
Right.
Right? So if we could have a conversation about that with all the interested parties, and then whatever that comes out of that conversation, I'd be happy to, or you could share with the whole council so we know how we're going to move forward.
Thank you. City Manager.
Yes. This is a first review of that particular program. If we see that in subsequent months that it's not going to be spent, then we would move more money. Remember, the money has to be allocated by December 31st, not spent. So we have really another year to spend it beyond December 31st of '24. So we would review this, and if there's not progress made, there are plenty of other functions that could use this money and encumber it prior to the 31st.
And then we'd have to figure out how we're gonna fund these programs once the schools come
Right,
online.
right. Part of what I've discussed with the building committee was that the new school should have a easy connection between the gymnasiums or other facilities that would be used for community centers, rather than having going through the front, through the security, all those things. And I think that has been absorbed as part of the design process. So, but we know that they're not going to be finished by the time ARPA is really complete, which is December of 25. So most likely, most of these funds will probably be reallocated. There might be some things we're doing now in some of the schools, a little bit that still can do that. Some of the transportation during the summer, things like that. So there would be about 230 left, and we'll have to take a look at the progress of that, knowing that we have to clean it out and encumber it prior to December 31st.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion at this time? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes? Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. This resolution is adopted 5-0.
Number 9, relative to the city manager being authorized and directed to send communication to all members of the Connecticut delegation, Congress, Senate, and House of Representatives for the support of the IDEA Full Funding Act.
Thank you. Motion to the floor, please. Alderwoman Hayes, second. Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Alderman Singh.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's very important that our federal leaders understand all these things. Of course, they have so much on the plate, but I think from time to time, this council should direct city manager to pick on different topics so they understand the velocity of those issues that we are facing in our community. And there are many other issues like that, which I think this is our duty as a council member to let city manager know about some of the issues that we see in our communities. So I do welcome this, and I hope there is some positive resolution on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Pro Tem, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I wholeheartedly support this action, and I certainly hope that the U.S. Congress and our executive branch will enact this. The legislation that brought about IDEA is certainly well-intended and much needed at the time, as it is today. The issue is the cost of providing a free and appropriate public education for all has just become a burden that communities like ours cannot manage. And so, a great idea, well thought out, completely and woefully underfunded. And that needs to be corrected. And I think that it is only through grassroots efforts from communities like ours, where we are working with our state and federal delegations, with our local Board of Ed, amongst us ourselves here, with our administrative staff, to keep shining a spotlight on this issue until the Congress and the President act and provide us with the funding that we need so that we can do right by every child in our community. And with that, end my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Alderwoman Hayes.
To you, through you, Mayor, I don't know if the acting superintendent would have the information. Just wanting to know, what is the federal government reimbursing currently, and the impact that is having on the school budget?
I have heard as low as 6, others have said 13%. I think any given year, that number varies and changes very rapidly, and that's the biggest problem with this. A new family can move into your district overnight. You started the school year, and all of a sudden, you now have as much as $250,000 deficit facing you. And that's what this has presented, not only to people in Norwich, but every school district across the country is facing this issue. Why it doesn't have more concern by those who serve in Washington, only they can answer that. But I can't give you a percentage here. You point out correctly, our acting superintendent is here. If you'd like to approach the dais, it would help if you would add your comments to the public record, actually. Thank you very much for being here.
Good evening, everyone. So, Alderman Hayes, it is 13% right now, and it's been a problem for many, many years.
Okay.
President Pro Tem.
So, and we've talked about this just last week, right, a little bit, but and the greatest issue has been, we thought of it as a victory when we finally started getting double-digit percentages out of Washington, D.C. for IDEA, for special education, for these kids with these special needs. But the costs have escalated exponentially compared to, I think it might have been 9% when I first came on this council, 7 years ago. Now it's at 13%, and that was really no reason to celebrate, because the costs have increased 50 and 60% in some cases per year. So if you would, and that was a pretty big lead up, but if you would just talk about briefly what the impact is on the district due to this underfunding.
So I don't know the exact numbers to that. I'd have to get back to you on that.
I would say more in a human impact on families and kids in our district.
So when we're underfunded with that, we can't get the personnel that we would need to teach our kids. I mean, it's much bigger than that, because it's not only that cost, but it's also the excess cost, and we've talked about this. So with our special education needs, between excess cost and being underfunded for both of these, it's just a huge impact on us.
And essentially it's put us in a position that we are in right now, where is it fair to say that the ask from the BOE far exceeds the city's ability to fund?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
That's really the gist. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
If I may, just, it's kind of related. The state budget will complete their deliberations on Thursday, and my review of the budget, and I'm sure the superintendent is reviewing it as detailed as I am, there's very little relief in the area of special ed formula that I see in the forthcoming budget. I don't know if you see more rescue than I do, but I don't see a lot in that at all. So it's kind of continuing federal underfunding, and then the state hasn't made significant inroads into correcting the formula imbalance.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, and it looks like it's going to be worse for next year right now.
Yeah, so really no relief on the state level either.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
What's that?
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Alderman Singh?
Yeah, I just want to share that, in one of our budget cycle, 67% was the number that NFA added to their special ed cost. So of course, I think this is a national problem. It's not just for our city. So I will say we should rally up more cities and, do these kind of resolutions. So we should definitely do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions at the time? Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. I think a year ago, the average was 11% population in school district was kids with IPE. I think we're close to 18 to 20%. So it really hits the city significantly. This is a major issue. I'd like to thank Board of Ed member Kevin Sathani. I know you were the first person that reached out to me about this. So thank you. The further discussion, seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Thank you. The resolution 9 is adopted 5-0. Where is Mike? Did he go? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, please. Yeah. Momentary lapse. Mike is checking out something for us on these 4 ordinances, proper referrals and such.
Oh, okay.
He's up. There you go.
Excuse me, corporate counsel?
Are these on the ordinances that are submitted? Of the ordinances, the first 3 don't have to go to the Commission on the City Plan. The 4th one does. And the 4th one is the Bosra Dam. So I think you can schedule the first 3 for the second reading and the action at the next meeting, May 20th. On the 4th one, you can schedule it, I believe, the Commission on the City Plan can hold a meeting
On the 21st.
on May 21st, so that they could have their decision then. The question would be whether you want to have it on the first meeting in June or the second. The first, if the budget's going to be adopted, it may take a while. So if you make it the second meeting, it's acceptable.
Thank you for that clarification.
Makes sense.
What's that?
Yep.
New business ordinance number 1, an ordinance increasing the appropriation of $1,800,000 to $2 million for the cost associated with a tank aeration mixing system at Richard Brown Drive in the town of Montville, increasing the authorization by $1,800,000 to $2 million for the issuance of revenue bonds of the City of Norwich secured solely by water revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the City of Norwich and Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements and a joint resolution with the State of Connecticut with respect thereto.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to raise this for a public hearing on May 20th to waive the full text and reading, take second action on this ordinance. Is there such a motion, President Pro Tem?
So, actually, I'd like to amend the motion, and I think that we should move, or schedule, I should say, all 4 of these for the June 17th meeting. And in that time, between now and then, I would also like to have part of that motion that the management at the utility engage and meet with the Building Trades Council to discuss on whether or not, well, it would be for each of these, but for number one that we're dealing with right now, Building Trades Council to discuss whether or not a PLA, a project labor agreement, would be appropriate for this project.
Just for clarification, your motion was to all four, and I think we have to take them separate.
Yes, I just wanted to be clear in my intention so that you would know what I'm proposing. But yes, only for purposes of new business ordinance number one.
Well, the motion for May 20th wasn't seconded yet, so that actually isn't before us. If you'd like to begin with a motion to schedule it for June 17th, I think was the date.
Correct.
You could just start with that.
Yes. You asked for a motion for May.
I did, but it did not receive a second, no. So,
Right, well, okay.
so the floor is yours.
Also, to say that the motion I'd like to put forward is to set the date as June 17th.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. And a friendly amendment, you would include waive the second,
I think you have to wait for the second
Waive the
reading to
reading.
amend this.
I'm sorry?
I think you have to wait for the second reading to amend this. You're just setting, this is the first hearing.
No, this is just to schedule the hearing, correct?
Schedule the hearing, yeah.
We're not amending this at all, we're just, the motion here is to waive the full text reading
That's right. But
and
not
schedule the
to amend it
hearing.
tonight, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That's all we can do. So everyone understands that, normal business. Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that motion at this time for June 17th for the hearing and so forth? If not, roll call, please.
Well, I do have a question under discussion. So with that motion then, which has been seconded?
Yes.
So we are in discussion. With that motion is also, and the Corporation Council can clarify the rule on this, but there's also the condition that by that time, the Building Trades Council and the management at the utility will have met and discussed the appropriateness of a project labor agreement for this project.
Well, I don't think you can make that a term of the ordinance at this point. I think you're describing a condition that you want to see happen before then, but it's not part of this ordinance.
So we can do it behind the scenes. It's, if I may,
Yeah, Alderman Bettencourt.
I mean, certainly though, it's something that we can, bring up with the general manager and have them do. And, if you want to put it that way, as a condition of the passage of the ordinance, so, we can have that discussion with them, so.
You can have the discussion with them. In fact, you could amend it on June 17th to insist on it. But at this point, it's just you've had the first reading on this.
Yeah.
I understand, and thank you for the clarification, and that's fine.
Thank you. So the motion before us is to schedule the public hearing for June 17th and to waive the full text and reading. Is there further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Thank you. That motion passes 5-0.
Number 2, an ordinance increasing the appropriation from $1,800,000 to $2 million for the costs associated with a tank aeration mixing system at Stanley Israelite Park in the city of Norwich, increasing the authorization from $1,800,000 to $2 million for the issuance of revenue bonds of the city secured solely by water revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the city of Norwich and Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements and a joint resolution with the state of Connecticut with respect thereto.
Thank you. I'd ask for a motion to schedule this for public hearing on June 17th and to waive the full text and reading at this time. Alderman
Motion.
Singh,
Thank you.
second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Thank you. That motion is passed 5-0.
Number 3, an ordinance increasing the appropriation from $500,000 to $2 million for the cost of planning a lead copper service line replacement program in the city of Norwich, increasing the authorization from $500,000 to $2 million for the issuance of revenue bonds of the city secured solely by water revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the city and the Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements and a joint resolution with the state of Connecticut with respect thereto.
Thank you. I'd ask for a motion to schedule this for public hearing on June 17th and to waive the full text reading. It's time. Motion, Alderman Singh, second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh. President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Thank you. That motion is adopted 5-0.
Number 4, an ordinance appropriating $2,900,000 for the costs of the planning, design, and construction of a utility bridge and water main improvements project in the town of Basra, authorizing the issuance of $2,900,000 revenue bonds of the city of Norwich secured solely by water revenue to meet said appropriation, and authorizing the city and the Department of Public Utilities to enter into grant and loan agreements and a joint resolution with the state of Connecticut with respect thereto.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to schedule this for public hearing on June 17th to refer to CCP, a commission on the city plan, and to waive the full text and reading at this time. Alderman Bettencourt, second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh. Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. That motion is adopted 5-0.
Session.
I hereby move pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 1-200, subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition or disposition of real estate or interests in real estate when publicity regarding the proposed acquisition or disposition would cause a likelihood of an increased price to acquire and a diminished price to dispose of the property, and to review feasibility evaluations and reports made for the city of Norwich regarding such property, and to review information given the city in confidence not required to be disclosed by law. City Manager John Salamone, Comptroller Joshua Pothier, Director of Planning and Neighborhood Services Deanna Rhodes, President of the Norwich Community Development Corporation Kevin Brown, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderwoman Hayes, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Council will come back to order. I'll let the record show that no votes were taken during the executive session. Motion to return to the meeting, Alderwoman Hayes, second Alderman Singh. Roll call, Hayes,
Yes.
Bettencourt.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
DeLucia. Nystrom, yes. Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
Bettencourt, Hayes. Roll call, Hayes,
Yes.
Bettencourt.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
DeLucia. Yes. Nystrom, yes. Motion to adjourn passes 5-0. Thank you all.